Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Dominic, and today you're tuning in to the Comic Book Report, where we review comic books and graphic novels so you can get an idea of what to read. And today, as I've done in years past, I have collected a brief list video showcasing just a handful of comic books I've been grateful for this year in 2025. In some cases, the books came out this year, while in others, I was just thankful to have them in my collection. Whatever the case may be, I sincerely hope you enjoy my selections. I hope you enjoy this season of gratitude and Thanksgiving, and before we jump in, as always, I'd like to shout out the channel sponsor, Panel Bound Comics. You can find a link to their website in the video description, and if you see anything site-wide you like, you can use my discount code at checkout, TheComicBookReport, to save $2 off of your order. Please note if you use that affiliate link or code to make a purchase, I will earn a small commission, but it's a great way to support the channel. Thank you so much for considering. Now let's get started with today's list. First on my list today is actually a book I was thankful for last year as well. This is Ultimate Spider-Man by Jonathan Hickman, Volume 1. And while I'm certainly thankful for this title, it's also kind of a representation of this whole run and really the new Marvel Ultimate Universe as a whole. This universe has been such a fun sandbox to play in the last year or two, and I can't tell you how great it's been to have a series of ongoing titles that I've just been looking forward to with the degree of excitement I have had toward it. For those that don't know, this is the story of an alternate universe Peter Parker who gets his spider powers later in life. The delay in this universe is in part thanks to the schemes of the devious Maker who is unleashed into this new Ultimate Universe, and he tries to basically shape it in the way he wants, which suppresses or eliminates the mainstay Marvel heroes. In this universe's depiction of Peter Parker, like I said, he's a bit older, more seasoned, he has a wife and children, and I just really liked it. Perhaps it's because he's a little more relatable to my stage in life with his family and all, or if it's simply because being a longtime Spider-Man fan, seeing him mature relationally for the first time in what I feel like is a long time, it's just generally and genuinely immensely gratifying. But again, it's more than just Spider-Man for me. This is really a representation or placeholder of all the other new Ultimate titles, even things like Ultimate Wolverine, which I read a little more recently. And I know that they've announced the end of this Ultimate Universe, and I'm pretty sad about that, but I do love that we had this little experiment for the last year or two. And yeah, as a fan of the older Ultimate Universe as well, I'm just so immensely grateful that we've had this little foray into a new Ultimate Universe. So thankful. I've had so much fun exploring this over the last year or so, and I'm sincerely hoping that Marvel sticks the landing. So when I think about books I'm thankful for this year, I definitely think again of Ultimate Spider-Man and Marvel's new Ultimate Universe. Next up on books I'm really thankful for, I have to talk about Helen of Wyndhorn by Tom King and Bilquis from Dark Horse Comics. If you've perused my channel for any length of time, you might know that I am a huge and outspoken fan of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow by these same creators, Tom King and Bilquis. A gorgeous coming-of-age story through the stars within the DC Universe. I've talked about that book at length. It was one of my favorite books of the year a few years ago. Well, imagine my joy when I heard those creators teamed up for yet another sweeping journey, and we have here Helen of Wyndhorn. This is one part homage to something like Conan the Barbarian, and really just another coming-of-age story for a young protagonist. This time we followed the titular Helen of Wyndhorn after she loses her father. She basically gets taken in as a ward by her grandpa, an elusive author of something like Conan the Barbarian. While at the beautiful Wyndhorn estate, you find out that they are really on the border of a fantastical world, and perhaps Grandpa's stories aren't so fictitious after all. I'm so grateful for this story, particularly as a fan of these two creators. I've been a long-time Tom King fan. I love his work on Batman and beyond. To me, he has this lyrical, beautiful prose style in so much of his writings, and I've just really become a fan over the years. And I'm kind of a newer Bilquis fan. Basically, the moment I read her Supergirl and saw the beautiful ornate art style, I just knew I would be a fan, possibly for life, and that certainly cemented seeing her work here on Helen of Wyndhorn. This book in and of itself is such a treat. It's a really great self-contained story, beautifully displayed with this standard size hardcover here from Dark Horse. And yet it now has me just dreaming for the future and a hopeful another collaboration between these two incredible comic book creators. But until then, I still am so grateful to have this. One of my favorite reads of this year, easily, Helen of Wyndhorn. Had to talk about it when I talked about books I'm just really thankful for this year. Next on my list of comics I'm thankful for is actually a current read, Green Lantern by Robert Venditti, Omnibus Volume 1 from DC Comics. This is the first part of a New 52 comic run that collects both Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corps issues from Robert Venditti, and notably for this collector, it picks up right after the Green Lanterns by Geoff Johns run, which is one of my personal favorite comic runs of all time. Why I'm grateful for this book is I'm finally able to venture further than just the Geoff Johns Green Lantern run, and being such a huge fan of that run, like so many out there, for whatever reason, I still never felt the need to venture further, though candidly I was always curious to do so. And with this omnibus, I finally have my chance to do just that. And now I am approaching the halfway point of this omnibus, but I'm absolutely hooked. It's such a fun read that I am trying to evaluate in a vacuum, doing my best not to compare with the run preceding it. And through that lens, I am having a great time. I love following Hal and the rest of the Lanterns here, just seeing what happens to the Green Lantern Corps and beyond. It's just a real treat for me, and honestly a really fun release from DC Comics. In many ways, this was one of my favorite omnibuses released from DC this year, and that is saying something. We've had an impressive slate of releases from DC, but to have even more modern Lantern books on the shelf, just wow. Now the art does vary a bit in this collection, but overall I found it to be really strong. And I'm eager to see where Venditti continues to bring these characters. I'm hopeful that this and the Volume 2, slated for early 2026, sell very well, and that we hopefully will get more announcements that follow his run into the Rebirth era over at DC. But I suppose time will tell, and for now I'm just so thankful to have this on my shelf as a Green Lantern and DC fan. The next book I want to talk about today that I'm thankful for is Batman by Grant Morrison, Omnibus Volume 1. Admittedly, this book has been on the market for some time, and it was on my omnibus upgrade list forever. I've had a lot of other standard-sized paperbacks and hardcovers that collect this era of Batman, but I never actually went and invested in the hardcover omnibus editions until now. So the collector side of me is so thankful to have finally upgraded, and now I have the Morrison run in these beautiful omnibus editions. To showcase that, of course, right now we're looking at the Volume 1, and while I know I haven't delved super deep into the Morrison era on this channel yet, rest assured I am a big fan of this period in Batman's history. From the introduction of Damian Wayne to the Dick Grayson Batman, Damian Wayne Robin run, and more, this really is one of the most landmark, greatest modern Batman runs of all time. And while I may personally always hold a torch for the Snyder-Capullo New 52 era, the Morrison run still has a really beloved place in my heart, and I still really enjoy the stories therein. The art throughout this era is also fantastic. I think that Morrison does a great job just constructing a love letter for the entire legacy of Batman up to this point. This run is absolutely riddled with even Golden Age Easter eggs and homages and cameos, and it really looks at Batman's legacy as a whole, while developing the character further in really notable ways. So this year, yes, I'm elated to have this run in the omnibus format. And if you'd like to see more of it showcased on the channel in the future, let me know in the comments section. Now let's get ready for our next entry. And rounding out our video for today, a book I'm immensely grateful for this year is the all-new X-Men Omnibus by Brian Michael Bendis. If you've seen my earlier coverage on this channel on this book, this was my most anticipated comic book release of 2025. For me, I am a huge fan of Bendis' work, and this was a big, just blank spot in my reading history for him, and I always wanted to check out this series. Admittedly, I am a huge sucker for any kind of time travel narrative, and when you pair that with a franchise I love so much, like the X-Men, you just really have me on the hook. Not only was this my most anticipated read, but it was one of my favorites of the year. I just thought it was so wonderful, and with the Uncanny X-Men run by Bendis coming out in Omnibus imminently, I just really was thinking about this book all over again. The characterization and art in this book was fantastic, and overall I just had a super fun time making my way through. For pure entertainment value alone, this was just a huge read for me that I loved. That being said, I am eager to read his companion run in Uncanny X-Men at the time. I know even with all new X-Men, there was definitely some kind of overlap or crossover, so I am eager to read the other half of the coin. I also wanted to make sure that X-Men was well represented on my list because this was a huge collecting year for me for X-Men books. There were so many X omnibuses this year. I might even do a video coming up that just showcases some of the X-Men books I did pick up this year. If that's a topic of interest to you, definitely let me know in the comments. But yeah, for now, this was just a book I'm really thankful for. I'm so happy I finally got to read this run. And yeah, just overall a very fun read. I do say that it does start a bit better than it ends, but I sincerely enjoyed the whole ride. If you haven't yet, I suggest you don't miss out on all new X-Men. Okay, and that's going to go ahead and bring this video to a close. This has been 5 comic books I'm thankful for 2025. My annual kind of Thanksgiving coverage. There are, of course, many more things I'm thankful for, including all of you in this wonderful community. In the comments, I'd love to hear if you've read any of these choices today, or books you're thankful for, or in general, what are things you're thankful for? Whether you're in the States or abroad, I wish you a happy Thanksgiving and just a really great season that we can reflect on gratitude. Also, on a personal note, thank you so much for bearing with me. You can probably tell my voice is a little bit different than normal. I made mention to it in a comment a couple of weeks ago, but essentially I messed up my jaw a bit. I'm still kind of trying to get it healed. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. Coverage on the channel might be a bit spotty because of that, and because we've welcomed a new addition into our home recently, so we're all just adjusting. So definitely bear with me. While you wait, you can check out more of my catalog, and I will try to release what I can moving forward. From the bottom of my heart, thank you all for your support and continued viewership, and yeah, I just hope you have a really wonderful day. Until next time, this has been the Comic Book Report. Please don't forget to give this video a like, those comments, and maybe share with a friend. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.